Thank you, Your Excellency, for your question. If you don't mind, dear friends, I will switch to Russian soon, because I practice pretty seldom. So please, if you're ready, let me, I will see. Уважаемые гости,
dear guests, as it was said in the presentation, Yamal has an enormous energy capacity and potential. More than 20% of all deposits of oil and gas are situated in Yamal-Nenets region. This for sure poses certain responsibility and very special responsibility over us, and we are absolutely sure that all the development will be done jointly in the cooperation with all the largest companies across the world. And as it was said, our first project, Yamal LNG, is a result of a very effective cooperation between European company Total and Chinese partners from CNPC. The next projects, the following projects, which are already a given fact, will also be done in international cooperation. The project Arctic LNG 2 has today, in the shareholders' board, it has Japanese, Korean, and French partners. What is more, this list will be expanded by one more unique place in the world. I will keep it secret so far. But we are definitely shaping sustainable, long-lasting relationships when energy of Yamal will be distributed to any point across the globe in the most efficient, safe, and effective manner. And this is the main goal of our region.
Thank you. It's really an ambitious scheme, as all of us who Zapata can bear witness to. So let us open the floor for questions. We have one there at the back. Yes, please stand up and take the microphone.
Hi. Hello. My name is Delbert Pangawi, big name Ianga. I'm from Alaska, St. Lawrence Island, Savunga. I just wanted to share what my grandfather told me in 1983 on this climate change crisis we are in. We are witnessing today what my grandfather told me in 1983, the loss of ice in the Arctic, worldwide weather patterns changing, catastrophic disasters becoming more frequent, and magnitudes that man has not known, and that our Mother Earth is starting to renew herself. And when I spoke in London last year at their annual IMO meeting, I shared that. My grandfather wanted me to share this message to the world that we must protect what little ecosystems we have left. And his warning is that if we fail, we are going to be struck with worldwide catastrophic apocalyptic disasters. And his message that we must protect what little ecosystems we have left. The Arctic is the heartbeat of the oceans.
Can I, with all due respect to you and your grandfather, please ask you to put your question, if you have, to the governor?
No, I just wanted to make that comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's very clever, actually.
Thank you.
So let's have questions from other parts of the hall.
Yes, Governor, thank you very much for your presentation. My name is Rasmus Bertelsen from the Arctic University of Norway in Tromsø. My question is, how is the situation with sanctions and counter-sanctions between Russia and the West? How are they affecting the development of the Yamal LNG? Thank you.
Спасибо.
Thank you
за ваш вопрос.
For your question. Sanctions never lead to improvement of relations or to the improvement of business processes. However, as a result, but answering your question directly, the project Yamal LNG, despite all the sanctions, despite all the difficulties in this development, in this construction process, a part of the equipment were banned from being sold, and the equipment has already been contracted for. So a part of contracts for the further sales were under pressure. However, the plant is in full capacity and was launched a year ahead of the timeline, and now it's working with a little higher percentage of its capacity than it was planned. So I remember very well, because I've lived in Yamal for all my life, that's my native region, and I remember this discussion when the project was just in the discussion phase. Many very high authoritative and high professional specialists, they were telling it is impossible because of the climatic difficulties, because of the technological difficulties. But even having these climatic and technological difficulties, having sanctions, this was launched a year ahead and it's fully operating. I believe this is the best answer how the sanctions actually influenced the final result. But the fact is a given fact, and it is as it is. The more peaceful and the more friendly Arctic will be, the better it will be for everyone in all senses, for economic or social projects.
Okay, the floor is open. Yeah, Mead.
Governor Mead Treadwell, former Lieutenant Governor in Alaska. Your gas goes past us in the Bering Strait, and I'm very glad our countries have worked on a joint marine traffic system to protect our sea hunters on both sides. My question for you is, now that so much gas is flowing around the Arctic from your projects, what can we do to reduce the cost of energy and heat for people who live in the Arctic? Will you be making box gas available for communities in Russian coast, maybe Alaska and Canada coast?
Это очень актуальный для нас вопрос.
It's a very acute question. For the time being, I am not able to give you the direct answer because I'm very much looking forward to explain to you, looking forward to having the responses from our scientists of how to convert these remote areas to liquefied gas. So far, we've been using the diesel fuel as the main and the most safe and reliable source of energy efficiency and energy stability in these remote areas and remote settlements. It is being transported from 2,000 kilometers away from these areas and settlements, and the plant, LNG plant, is within the visibility. So we are very much looking forward. I hope that it will not take more than several years when these technologies will allow us to provide the northern settlements with these energy sources. And then the efficiency of energy resources and then the cost of life will dramatically decrease, of course. The efficiency will increase and the cost of life will decrease. But so far we cannot risk when the winter temperature is below minus 50 degrees Celsius. We cannot risk and use the technologies that we have not tested at a maximum stability level.
Yes, let's take the final question here. Can we bring the microphone here to the second row, please?
Hello, my name is Peter Sellon.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Питер Селлон. Я бы хотел задать вам вопрос.
Really twofold. The first is, what kind of input do the indigenous communities that have inhabited, the original inhabitants, have had in the decision as to where the LNG plant is placed? And secondly, is there a process for equitable sharing of the revenues and the benefits for those communities?
The indigenous peoples of the north is the key stakeholders in all processes. And our dear friends, as well as Mr. Grímsson, who has mentioned a lot of our friends in this hall. I see many familiar faces, and he has already mentioned that many know Sabeta, and he sees how we plan this dialogue and how we develop it. Of course, it is as it is. The development of these territories cannot leave it untouched, virgin, in the way it was before. At the same time, if we count the square meters taken by new and forthcoming oil and gas projects, it's less than 1% of the territory. At the same time, it's absolutely fair that these projects, of course, give a lot to indigenous peoples. This happens because of the taxation system, and our settlements and villages, they start being changed. They have new schools, new kindergartens, new hospitals, new ways of support for better education, new trips for global centers all over the world. They can get medical aid. Yesterday, this was quite impossible because we had financial limitations. Today, we have these opportunities. I often give an example. It's a specific project of Yamal LNG. It has fully funded a school in Gvida settlement. For you, this may not say anything, but this is very, very far away. Further, you can only see the Northern Ocean and the pole, basically. And it's indeed very harsh and difficult. And from the capital, from Salahard, I need to have 5 hours of time to get there by helicopter. But today, they have the most modern, the most equipped, very well connected by the internet, etc., a beautiful palace of education, fully funded by the means of this project. And I'm absolutely convinced that the children who will go to this school, and they are already using the school, they are already studying there, they'll have a totally different future. Today, thanks to the internet, they have all sorts of resources of knowledge. And the combination of this new infrastructure, social infrastructure, with our connections and interconnections, especially in the educational area, dramatically changes the quality of life. So this search for balance is difficult. Where is this threshold? Where is this fine line when we need to get the benefits for the territory? But I think we have learned how to find this balance.
Well, thank you very much, Governor, for both your answers and your speech. And if I may close with a kind of a personal question. You represent and you govern perhaps the most important region in Russia, not just in terms of the energy future of Russia, but perhaps the energy future of Asia and Europe. And you are clearly, if I may say so, a very elaborate, sophisticated political leader. But you're also very young. So having followed Russia for a long time, in the spirit of friendship to your country, I was wondering, listening to you, how does such a young person become governor of such an important region in Russia? I was also told you had been voted the best governor in Russia. I think the ambassador told me that. If it's not correct, you blame him. So my question, this is a personal question, if you can share with us, how come you are sitting here as the governor of the most important region in Russia?
First and foremost, I love my region very much. It's my motherland, and it is a certain passion. It's a passion to help my region, to help its development. How it happened? It's not a secret at all. Our president, Vladimir Putin, is creating new forms.
We call it social lifts.
We call it social lifts. Because these lifts, these social institutions give us a chance to get to the top. This is a multi-level competition that unleashes the potential of young leaders. So we have several governors through these mechanisms, they have taken their seats. Our top federal leaders who have reached these positions because of their willingness and, of course, because of their skills, they make rapid career. That is why the answer to this question is very complex, but the combination of love to the job you're doing and the opportunities that are being given in Russia, and it's true that the country we have is giving us the opportunity to make it happen. Thank you so much.
And congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.